The Indianapolis Colts are desperate for a pass-rushing savior, and it looks like Chris Ballard is finally ready to pull the trigger on a game-changer. For years, the ghost of Robert Mathis has haunted the edge of Lucas Oil Stadium, leaving fans wondering when that true dominance will return to Indy. But hold everything, because a massive pre-draft visit has just been confirmed that could reshape this entire defensive line overnight. The scouting reports are glowing, the combined numbers are historic, and the front office is locked in. Is this the missing piece to a Super Bowl run? Malachi Lawrence is the name on everyone's lips inside the Colts facility this week, as the UCF standout prepares for a critical meeting with the team. According to NFL Network's Mike Garafolo, the Colts are hosting the elite edge rusher for a pre-draft visit that signals high-level interest in his unique skill set. Lawrence isn't just another defensive end. He is a physical marvel, standing at 6'4" and weighing 253 pounds. At the Combine, he absolutely scorched the field with a 4.52 40-yard dash and a staggering 40-inch vertical. These numbers earned him a relative athletic score of 9.95, which is the 13th highest recorded for a defensive end since 1987. During his tenure at UCF, the Louisville native became a force of nature, racking up 19.5 sacks and 27.5 tackles for loss. His senior season was particularly dominant, earning him first-team All-Big 12 honors and proving he can handle high-level competition. This visit is huge because Lawrence is meeting with 16 teams, including heavyweights like the Seahawks and 49ers, meaning the competition to secure his services will be fierce. The Colts are currently in a cycle of rotational players trying to replicate legendary production, but Lawrence represents a potential return to the golden era of Indy pass rushing. However, bringing him in isn't as simple as it looks, and there is a major catch in his game that has some scouts worried. The question is, does Chris Ballard see him as a day-one starter or a massive gamble that could backfire if the wrong price is paid? You won't believe the specific role the Colts have in mind for him, and how it impacts the current defensive leaders, especially since another young star is already fighting for his place in the rotation. If Lawrence is the answer, someone else is definitely the problem. But wait until you hear the real reason why this specific prospect has the coaching staff staying late at night to review the tape. Do you think Malachi Lawrence is the edge rusher the Colts have been waiting for since Robert Mathis retired? We want to hear your thoughts on this potential move in the comments below. If you want to stay updated on every breaking Colts news and insider report, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button to support our channel. Latu is currently the man leading the charge for the Colts pass rush, but his path to true dominance has been anything but smooth lately. Entering the third year of his contract in 2026, Latu has shown flashes of brilliance, finishing last season with 8.5 sacks and 3 interceptions. While those numbers are historically rare for a defensive end, the internal feeling is that Latu still struggles to provide that week-to-week impact required of a franchise cornerstone. This is where Malachi Lawrence comes into the picture. The Colts' depth chart behind Latu features Arden Key and Michael Clemens, who have served primarily as rotational pieces rather than true game wreckers. There is also Jalen Tuimoloau, but his rookie campaign left much to be desired, offering zero evidence that he is ready to explode onto the scene next year. By adding Lawrence, the Colts would be creating a terrifying duo with Latu, utilizing Lawrence's elite burst and speed to complement Latu's technical finesse. My sources say the front office is specifically looking for a player who can maneuver around massive NFL tackles with a deep bag of tricks, and Lawrence has exactly that. He is explosive off the line and has the lateral agility to make veteran offensive linemen look slow. But there is a glaring hole in this plan that we have to discuss. Lawrence's pass rushing grade, according to Pro Football Focus, was a stellar 89.5, ranking him 33rd in the country. However, his run defense was an entirely different story, grading out at a dismal 66.2. That ranked him 512th among all defensive ends in college football. For a team like the Colts that prides itself on being stout against the run, this is a massive red flag. Can the Colts afford to spend a high draft pick on a specialist when the roster has so many other needs? General Manager Chris Ballard is under immense pressure to get this right, and bringing in a player who might be a liability on first and second down is a risk that could define his legacy in Indianapolis. The dynamic between Latu and a potential rookie like Lawrence would be fascinating, but the stakes have never been higher for this defensive unit. The context of this visit cannot be overstated because this is a make-or-break year for Chris Ballard and the entire Colts front office. We are talking about a franchise that has been stuck in neutral for far too long, and the lack of a consistent pass rush is the primary reason why the defense keeps bending and breaking in high-leverage moments. By targeting a player like Malachi Lawrence, Ballard is showing that he recognizes the urgency of the situation. He knows that in the modern NFL, if you cannot harass the quarterback, you cannot win the AFC South. The impact of drafting Lawrence would be felt immediately in the draft room, as the Colts would likely have to use a top 3-round pick to secure him. This means passing on other positions of need like the secondary or wide receiver depth. From a coaching perspective, Shane Steichen and Gus Bradley would have to develop a specific package to hide Lawrence's weaknesses in run defense, while unleashing his elite speed in third-down situations. It creates a complex puzzle for the defensive staff. If Lawrence hits his ceiling, he becomes the lightning to Ladu's thunder, giving the Colts their best pass-rushing duo in over a decade. But if he fails to improve his strength and discipline against the run, he becomes a situational player that other teams will exploit with heavy personnel. Looking at the future of the franchise, this move suggests the Colts are moving away from the safe picks and taking swings on high-ceiling athletic freaks. This is the Ballard philosophy on steroids. The scouting department has clearly identified Lawrence's RAS score as a non-negotiable trait, believing that his raw athleticism can be coached into consistent NFL production. If this works, the Colts have a cheap, elite edge rush rotation for the next 4 years. If it fails, they are right back to square one, cycling through veteran minimum players and hoping for a miracle. The upcoming draft will determine if the Colts are building a contender or just delaying the inevitable rebuild. Every single meeting, including this one with Lawrence, is being scrutinized by the owners because they want results now. The pressure is mounting inside the building, and the margin for error has completely vanished. This isn't just a draft visit, it's a desperate search for a spark. Ultimately, the pursuit of Malachi Lawrence tells us everything we need to know about the current state of the Indianapolis Colts. It is a confession that the current edge rush group isn't good enough, and that the team is willing to gamble on raw potential to find that missing star. This is about more than just one player. It is about the identity of the defense. For a long time, the Colts were defined by speed and turnovers, and Lawrence fits that mold perfectly. He represents the hope of a fan base that is tired of seeing opposing quarterbacks have all day to throw the ball. If the Colts pull the trigger on Lawrence, they are sending a message to the rest of the league that they are done being passive. They are going after the most explosive athletes available to regain their status as a defensive powerhouse in the AFC. However, the shadow of his run defense struggles will loom large until he proves otherwise on a professional field. Fans need to be prepared for a roller coaster if this pick happens. It could be a stroke of genius that finally replaces Robert Mathis, or it could be another developmental project that never quite reaches the finish line. The stakes for this franchise have truly never been higher, and every decision made in this draft cycle will ripple through the organization for years to come. We are standing at a crossroads, and the direction the Colts take will define the Shane Steichen era. Do you believe Malachi Lawrence is worth a high draft pick despite his struggles against the run, or should the Colts look for a more balanced player to help this defense immediately? Tell us your opinion in the comments and let's get the conversation started. This is a huge moment for Indy, and we want to know where you stand on the future of our pass rush. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video to stay connected with the most in-depth Colts coverage on the web. We will be tracking this story every step of the way as we get closer to draft night. Thank you for watching, and as always, let's see if the Horseshoe can find its next legend. Stay tuned for more updates right here.